It was very interesting introduction to see the national anthem. That's not something we are used to. Next picture. And next. And I'm talking about some findings that we have done that really has got a new building and trying in new ways. This is GLÖMSTASKOLAN. I can take that. As you saw, some think it's the Guggenheim, but it's not. We started with just 30 kids, and now we are 600. In 2 years we are 900. We are building a new house, but that's a bit delayed, so we have some issues with that. We are just a little south of Stockholm, so it's quite near, and it's really expanding. And of course, everyone that moves into Huddinge has 3 children, and schools are not being built as rapidly. I'm a former history teacher, so a bit of Latin is always good, I think. And in Sweden, no one can Latin, so then I used to have the English transcription from the movie The Silence of the Lamb. On each particular thing asks, what's in itself, what's in its nature? School. If there were no school, and we had to invent it today, how would it look like? If we looked at the curriculum, if we looked at the neuroscience, if we looked how workplaces function, how the society is today, and what we think about society tomorrow, what would school be if there were no school and we had to invent it today, instead of making school as we used to? Yeah, we saw the Swedish curriculum. It's the same in all Sweden, no matter what school. The government sets goals. The municipal pays for everyone, so you can choose with a voucher. The parents get to choose. That's bad and that's good, or good and bad if you want, because it makes difference. Okay, what's this? Well, this is Microsoft headquarters, Google headquarters, building companies headquarters, the teacher's room in Norway. This is how working places looks like today in Sweden. And school is a working place. And in our curriculum, it's very clear that we should make the kids ready to go into the future. When are they learning to use this kind of room? When they're grown up or when they are 6? Well, my answer is quite clear. I don't know about Italian Netflix. Do you use that? Hand up. Who uses Netflix? Huh? Quite? My daughters, I have 3, they don't know anything else. Who still used Netflix 2010? Really no one. No. Because they were quite big. Next. No, quite big in the United States. Then they got a new CEO, and he stated, we trust people, not policy. And then he went out to the floor where the technicians were and asked them, what do you think about the future? What should we do? And they all said, internet and streaming. That's what we think. Okay, he said, then we do that. The stock market said, very bad idea. He bought a lot of shares and is today truly rich. The other company, Film to Home, they got stuck with their DVD discs, which were sent out a little faster, but not fast enough. Because that was the idea before 2011. If you want to see a film, You go to internet, you order it, 2 days later there comes a plastic disc, and you can watch it how many times as you like. But 2011, they started with internet and streaming. And now it's not a question. And I mean, 2011, we don't speak about 20th century now. Who had an iPhone for 10 years ago? A few. It came for 11 years ago. A lot of researchers in Sweden say Apple won't make it. They don't know how to make a mobile phone. The Nokia is so much better to phone on, and it is, if you can find one. Sorry, Finland. And my teenage daughters, they have correspondence all evenings, and I say, please, can't you phone instead? And say, I can't do that. I don't have his number. That's not how they communicate today. Well, GLÖMSTASKOLAN, as you saw, it's quite amazing building. A municipal that said that, okay, we will build a new school that tries out new ways. Because the Swedish curriculum is very clear. The government sets the goals, but you are free to go there, sort of, however. We will build it, and we will fill it with people that knows how to use it. Because, as they said, it demands something. But education is education is education. And I think a lot of what you see in the building isn't that revolutionary. I mean, it's teachers meeting pupils. But yeah, you can have education in between. You can sit in a window, yeah. I have searched for research that you learn better sitting on a hard chair, but I haven't found it yet. You can sit on tables, because here they are much closer to the TV than if they were sitting behind it. But of course, they must see focus and engagement is everything. And this is a very unique picture, because this student, that's the only time I've seen her sitting on a chair reading. She's always on top of tables or under. And, well, she's good at reading. I don't think that where you sit is the problem. And you can write on a stool too. Yeah, you can. You can watch us on Instagram, which is our way to communicate to parents what we do every day, which is so much better than text. I have 3 daughters, and they never remember what they have done during the day. I can see, and a picture says more than 1,000 words, and I can ask, Nia, I see that you worked here on mathematics. Can you please tell me? And then we can have a conversation about the school. It's so easy. 2 clicks, and there's... So it's good for teachers too. Efficient. Then education. Oops. Isn't just inside. We have a whole world outside. We have a lot of education outside. You can learn so much there. There's a good voice there, a good learning environment. And yes, sharp knives. And of course, you don't have 30 knives and just handing them out. No, you start with a smaller group, and you learn them what's important, and you train them. You train and learn and train. Then it works with 6-year-olds too. Yes. Lot of movement. We know that that is good. Okay, so we have a special teacher that's just outside all day, making the kids' recess a really good time. And it's not just because we think that it's good for them to have a good time. It's also if the recess is nice, without bullying, with learning and with joy, then they learn more afterwards. That's not rocket science. Oops, this wasn't too nice. Hard to read. I think this is nice. I'm not sure, but I think this is nice. And this you can read. Yeah. And for me, school for all is something that has been in Sweden for a time, but I like school for each and every one. For me, that's a difference. School for all, everyone should in the box. School for each and every one, we must reach every kid, where it is. Kierkegaard. But, well, this combined isn't really good. You have to choose. And I think that is a really important, and here there are some research in Sweden. There were a lot of researchers, what kind of idea is the best? And after a few years and a lot of money, they came to the conclusion it didn't matter. What mattered was that the principal had an idea, hold on to it, and get the teachers on board. But if he had that idea or that, not so important. But the school that lacked idea, well, their students didn't make so much progress. Have an idea, hold on to it, get the teachers on board. And of course then the pupils and the parents. Well, you must ask questions. We must ask questions. And I think the most important question is, why? Because if that question don't have an answer, then we are doing the wrong thing. We must know why we do what we do. We don't have endless time. We don't. We must use it wisely, and we must be able to say, I do this because. A lot of inspiration by Simon Sinek. It's the world's most TED talk that most people have seen, ever. And also Peter Lipman from Australia, who comes to Sweden twice a year, who always asks, why? Why? The next question is, why not? Why not? Why not? I mean, I'm glad that I'm not a surgeon. A brain surgeon, you know, if they do it wrong, then it will be really wrong. But if we try something, well, they don't die. We learn. So I think that is, and then, well, my kids have passed it, but when they were 3, it was quite hard because they always asked, why? Why? And you said, because, and they say, why? And that I think we should continue to doing. Why are we doing this? Why not? Why are we doing this? Why not? Please. Yeah, now this is the most important slide, I think, that the learning environment must be entirety. It must hold together. You can't build a new building and say that this will fix everything, because it won't. The physical environment must cope with the culture, must cope with the organization. If you have a new physical environment, you must be ready to change the culture and change the organization. And I think it's hard also to change the organization without making changes in the physical. But they must go together. Well, it's good that all new schools in Sweden, we build a lot of schools now. I think for 40,000 million euro or so over the next 15 years. So it's a big, and all new schools works fine until they get students in. It's so easy to draw a school on the paper and making nice pictures that seems like, it's working. But then the kids came. And they don't do what we think. And often they are going somewhere. I mean, this place, now it's working just fine. But when everyone is getting out, getting those back, then we have a problem. Yes. The ICT isn't a new thing. It changes the physical. It changes the culture, and it changes the organization. It's not something else. But it makes a few things in the physical no longer. And you must change the organization and culture. else it will be sort of bad. I went to Norway and saw that the principal there he had bought new shelves for the teachers, and he was so happy. Because this is great, he said. They can't have their coffee mugs here. And every teacher in Sweden knows, okay, because the teachers' cupboards are always full of whatever. But here you can just have papers. And I thought, oh, we don't have that. Because we don't use paper. We are only communicating digital in the staff. We don't need that anymore. I, as a principal, have to have a lot of papers from the parents, but not the teachers. Well, the question to get this working is why? And why not? Yep. Something is, okay, that's no problem. The important when it's physical is that every place needs to be defined. Every place needs a purpose. You knew what you were expected to do when you came in here. And that's important for pupils to understand. Okay, I'm using this room this way. And then safe and secure, that's so important. I mean, this is the most secure spot in this room, or maybe that up there. No one can get you there. And people, this brain, we know, neuroscience is very clear, that this is designed for predicting danger. Those who looked for the lions on the savannah and not for the bananas, they survived. So this is really good at, okay, am I safe, am I safe, am I safe? So we must do that. In a normal classroom, there are 4 corners, which are the safe spots. I don't know how it sits in Italy, but in Sweden, the teacher has taken 2 of them. And the one, the back, is not the safe spot. And in Sweden, a lot of people today stay at home, not coming to school because they don't feel secure. And I know that in a normal classroom, because we have classrooms, you can make 28 corners just by using the furniture different. The first step is to take away half of those. I mean, a table, that's great when you are writing in a book. It is great when you are writing on paper. But if you have an iPad, a chair and a table, well, the chiropractors are happy. They got a lot to do. But else? So if you take away half of the table, then there's room for other things. Soft seating, yes. I work home sometimes. I don't use the hard chair. And I get work done. Yeah, I do. So this is some pictures from Glömsta. Do they work? Are they engaged? Do they have focus? Do they sit on chairs? Yes, they do, some. But not everyone. We have iPads for everyone and so, and yeah, we have running water too for everyone, and pencils. These 2, working together, yeah, they can. Yes. She likes to be with, but a bit for herself. I know that. She is a part and can reach out when she needs, but she doesn't have to collaborate. That's her way of working. We train those collaborate. And this is in every classroom in Sweden. It's just that we have arranged them differently. Yes, and Peter Drucker, old culture eats strategy for breakfast. You must work on the culture. We have worked on the culture sustainable together. Is this what we do, sustainable together? Socially, economically, cultural, then we do that. And we have only one rule. Pia Sundhage, famous football leader, best in the world, we want each other good, well, and we do each other good. You don't need other rules. But you need hard work to get the rule to function. To learn the kids, okay, when I do this, that happened. Because freedom isn't doing exactly what you like. Freedom comes with responsibility. And we can't learn that if we don't get any freedom. And it's the same for the kids. I mean, we heard Jeff. They have a lot of freedom. And they learn from that. But not, we must learn and teach them. And sometimes we have to think new ways to work. And sometimes we just have to work and think new ways. And often it's something in between. Work and think and work and think. But we can't shut down school for a year and thinking, and then we must do it as it comes along. Okay, who wants change? Yes, yes, yes. Who wants to change? And who like to lead the change? And that's a problem. Because you can think in your mind the image of a pioneer, and some see Steve Jobs maybe, or Elon Musk, or yeah. But I see the ones that were first out on the prairie with 3 arrows in the back because they were too early. That's also a point, because we are conservatives. That's also the brain. And I don't know how it is in Italy, but they say that teachers are conservative in Sweden. Some are, some not. But parents, whoa. Oh, I really like all the new things, but I want everything that I had when I was in school back in the 20th century. And of course, I don't know, but since time and power isn't eternal, we can't do both everything that we have done and new things. If we are trying new things, we must stop doing some things that we have done, because else we won't be able. But change is possible. I know that. But it takes perseverance. It is hard, yes. You must hold on. Because it is hard. You are being questioned. You must keep away. And you must learn. I mean, we want the kids to learn. We must learn. So, and I think that is good, because, I mean, the only way to not make mistakes is by doing nothing at all. Then you don't do mistakes. But it's not okay to do nothing. Only while sleeping, you do no mistakes. And we can't sleep. And well, soon we are there. No, we are not. It's not getting easier. We are just getting better. But then there are no new problems, and I think that's nice to try to solve them. And I mean, we want to make the future awesome. For the kids, and of course for us too. If we are going to have any pensions, we must do something. If you do as you always have done, and think that this time it will be different, I mean, that's madness. Do as you always do, and think that this time it will be different. That's, yeah. So I think if we want a new result, we must do new things. Else we will get the same result. Thank you, and good luck on the journey.